Hi guys, and Merry Christmas! Today is Christmas, and so that means today is the last day of our rating Christmas movies, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. Also, if you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays for whatever holiday you celebrate around this time. I know there's Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, but there might be some others that I am not educated on. So happy holidays to everyone. Also, last Wednesday I actually walked the stage at commencement. I had already gotten my degree earlier, you guys knew that, but I walked the stage last Wednesday, so celebration. Well, actually it's this week for me, but this is going up next week from the week I walked. Like, it's going up perfectly a week from when I walked. So when Home Alone 2 went up, I was walking the stage. I had it premiere for you guys, so you guys still got a video, but so today's Christmas, and I'm gonna read the last one. This one is on Beethoven's Christmas Adventure, and this one has who I think it does. I'm gonna make sure that this is the right movie. Yeah, okay. It has who I thought it did, so we're good. So this is my favorite Beethoven movie, Beethoven's Christmas Adventure. That's because it has a lot of actors and actresses I know in it. So let me read the description. At the North Pole, Santa Claus is giving out jobs to over 200 new elves. One of them, Henry, is assigned to be a stable elf by taking care of reindeer. Henry objects, claiming that the job is unclean, but Santa didn't change his mind. Henry tries making a toy one night in order to prove Santa wrong, but he gets zapped by his own creation and inadvertently feeds the magic berries to the reindeer, which in turn begin to fly away with the sleigh, with Henry inside it. During the flight, Henry loses Santa's toy bag. In Woodhaven, Minnesota, Mason Cooper is unsuccessfully trying to sell hot chocolate. His mother, Christine, stops by and asks her son to watch Beethoven. Beethoven is going to star in the Christmas parade, and Christine has been assigned by her boss, Mr. Rexford, to create a Hollywood-themed float for the parade. While Mason is babysitting him, Beethoven sees Santa's sleigh with Henry in it flying over the town and follows it. He and Mason find Henry, who has evicted himself from the sleigh, and asks Mason for help in finding Santa's toy bag. At first, Mason doesn't believe Henry is a real Christmas elf, and that Santa isn't real, until he witnesses Henry communicating with Beethoven with a magic candy that, when licked, can give the human the ability to communicate with dogs. Elsewhere, grumpy Sylvester Smirch is the owner of the Most Wanted Toys, the toy store. He and his assistant Kenny have been secretly stealing toys from other stores, then overpricing the stolen toys. While driving on the highway, Smirch comes across Santa's toy bag and only realizes what it is after pulling out several toys from it to see them increase to full size. Before leaving with the bag, Smirch is witnessed by a stray whose foot was stuck to an old mattress. Back at the Cooper household, Henry lies to Mason, saying that he's an elf who makes toys. Christine returns home and evicts Henry because she doesn't believe that he's actually an elf. Mason secretly lets Henry spend the night in the garage. The next morning, Henry and Beethoven leave to find the magic toy sack. Henry has a piece of fabric that ripped off of the bag, which Beethoven uses its scent to try to sniff out the bag's location. Mason leaves shortly after to find Henry and Beethoven after discovering that they were gone. Mr. Smirch and Kenny decide to advise with the toy bag, but during the commercial, they are interrupted by the presence of Henry and Beethoven. Smirch flees with the toy bag and is picked up by Kenny shortly after thus. Henry fails to get a visual on Smirch. Mason comes across the stray and frees his foot from the mattress. The stray follows Mason and they meet up with Henry and Beethoven. The stray then reveals to Henry that he got a good visual of Smirch. They return to the garage in the Cooper's house. While sketching out a drawing of Smirch from the stray's description, Henry accidentally sets a model of Beethoven's parade float on fire. Mason is blamed for it by Christine, who refuses to believe her son that Henry did it. She then grounds Mason, forbidding him to leave the house until New Year's. Mason fails to recognize the sketch drawing of Mr. Smirch, and Henry reveals to Mason about being a stable elf. He explains about wanting to make toys like his fellow elves, but Mason reassures Henry, thinking that being a stable elf is better than making toys. That night, Mason, Henry, Beethoven, and the stray are awoken to see Smirch's TV ad, thus letting them know who is in possession of the toy bag. Because Mason is forbidden to leave the house, Henry, Beethoven, and the Stray enter the toy store alone during business hours. Henry tries to convince the patrons that the toys are from Santa's toy bag and that Smirch had stolen them, but Smirch kicks him out of the store. Henry then distracts Smirch and Kenny by singing with a group of Christmas carolers, while Beethoven and the Stray steal the bag. This fails as Henry is exposed for singing off-key and he's arrested for trying to steal Santa's toy bag. The Stray is taken back to the shelter for biting Smirch, forcing Beethoven to return to Mason. Beethoven then persuades Christine to lick the dog candy cane and insists to her that Mason was telling the truth the whole time, believing that this was happening. Christine apologizes to Mason, explaining that she felt scared about taking care of him by herself and after her husband passed away the previous year. They go to the police station but learn from the chief that Smirch decided not to press charges on Henry. Mason, Beethoven, and Christine arrive at the store and learn that Smirch is kidnapping Henry after HR had revealed to Smirch that the elves had made enough toys in the bag for 1 year. Smirch believes that Henry is a toy-making elf and kidnaps him to receive more income. Smirch stuffs Henry in the toy bag, and he and Kenny flee on motorcycles to the park where the parade's floats are being worked on. Smirch crashes into the Beethoven float and is trapped in a large plastic Christmas ornament. Smirch is then arrested for toy theft. Mason then helps his mother get the promotion that she was working to achieve by adding a partnership with the ASPCA and invites the dogs from the shelter to ride with Beethoven in the parade. Late that evening, Henry thanks Mason for showing him that being a stable elf is something very special. Mason thanks Henry for helping him realize that believing in Santa is not a kid thing. Using the power of the magic berries, Beethoven flies Henry back to the North Pole with the toy bag in his sleigh, and Mason decides to keep the Stray and names him Henry. In the end, Santa makes his deliveries and gives Beethoven a ride home. So that's the plot of the movie. Thank you guys so much for watching this holiday season. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. Please go watch it. The reason why I like it so much is because it has Monroe Chambers in it, who is Eli on Degrassi, if you don't know. So please go give it a watch. It also has Kyle Massey and I think the one that played Valentine in the Shadowhunters TV show. The mom from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. That's all I remember right now. But yeah, I don't think this other person's in the movie. Maybe they are. John O'Hurley's in it. Yeah. So those are the only ones that, like, names you probably know off the top of your head. But anyway, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video in the new year. I'll actually see you in the new year. Bye.